Bad news.
Stop the music. It's time for news.
Let's head over into the drone newsosphere with Jeff Sills and see what's going on. Industry news and everything. What's happening, Jeff? Boom.
Well, this week news was all over the place. I literally just everywhere I was getting news from all sorts of different things. So we'll start off with obviously the one thing that everybody's been talking about, which is the new DJI M30.
Yeah.
Which is their new DJI drone. This is their new enterprise style drone. This is not your, cheapy drone. This starts at $9,999
right.
and goes up to $13,000 with the thermal camera. But it has some interesting specs. It has a flying time of 41 minutes, maximum speed of 23 meters per second. It comes with a 48 megapixel CMOS sensor zoom camera that has a 200 time digital zoom, 12 megapixel wide angle camera, 8K photograph capability, a laser rangefinder with 1,200 meters distance, IP55 ingress position, so this is the protection. So this thing's going to be, weather resistant.
Oh, I need all that.
Temperatures from -4 to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. OcuSync 3 Enterprise Edition comes with the mobile station.
Yeah,
so
and it predicts earthquakes. It perks coffee. It'll give you a back rub. All that stuff. This thing is pretty awesome.
Compact and portable.
It looks smaller than it is, but it's about the size of the trees.
Unpack and deploy in seconds.
But it has two pull and two push props, which is an interesting setup.
Well, that was the trade-off for making it foldable.
Right.
Because and obviously, we've seen DJI make more and more foldable drones. AKA we're not seeing any more Phantoms, etc. So this is the direction that the company is going: is these compact drones that will fold up and use a smaller footprint whenever you're traveling with them.
But look at the controller. The controller is it's like so big. It's like, it's like, here, I'm gonna let me fly my drone.
Oh yeah,
it's huge.
Yeah, this is not a toy. This is not your residential drone. This is some enterprise level business, firefighters, police departments, major corporations. We'll see these things doing inspections, etc.
Right. So
this is a beast.
So head on down to Walmart, pick you up one for the kids.
Actually, I'm looking forward to news stories where we'll see these things in action. That's what my
yeah, I hope so too. It does look pretty impressive.
All right, so again, we have some more footage coming out of Ukraine, drone footage that has been captured. This one captures the scale of destruction in one of the cities, showing damaged buildings. This includes a kindergarten. And infrastructure in the small city in the Sumy region of Ukraine. So again, the devastation there is pretty intense. These cities are getting just blasted to kingdom come. Mariupol is almost flat.
It's really terrible, but it seems like the tide is turning. The Russians are having their Russian asses handed to them by the resolve of the Ukrainian people, because they're not just fighting the army; they're fighting everybody is in the army, the whole population.
Yeah, the Ukrainians have had quite a bit of success, and the Russians, I think, thought that they were going to have a far easier time than they did, and they're learning a very bitter lesson to that.
Yeah, I love these videos where they show a farmer towing a Russian tank behind him. It's like, and they're all like,
or the dude with the landmine.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
Yeah,
right. That's cigarette in the mouth.
We don't need this. Yeah. That's brave. Yeah.
Well,
There's
in the United States,
footage today of them blowing up a ship.
What were they doing?
Yeah, they had
the ship.
There was a Russian supply ship in the harbor that got blown up. The United States obviously is working on trying to support as part of a new $800 million package, and the military is going to be sending to them something really neat, which is a kamikaze drone called the Switchblade.
Oh, okay. Tell us about it, Jeff.
It's a single-use drone, small enough to fit into a small backpack, cruises about 100 kilometers, carries cameras, guidance system, and explosives, and is essentially designed to dive bomb the target and then explode. So it is a suicide drone, and it can, it flies a mission. You can pre-program it to fly a mission to a specific target, or an operator can control it. It's a loitering munition, so it can hang around in an area waiting for a better target to show up and then attack it. So it's going to be a nice augment to the Turkish drones that they're using now.
Yeah.
And it will be interesting to see how the Ukrainians use them, how successful they are. Because I don't know if the Switchblade's actually been used in combat yet.
Well, when it is, it will certainly be, and I'm just going out on a limb here, could it possibly be maybe a multiplier of the force? Could it be a force multiplier?
It might be.
Okay, because that's what they need. They've got force, but they have to multiply that force, and they need to do it with this thing. Yeah. All right.
So next in the news, one of the harshest environments on the planet is being, I guess, tested at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. They spent 18 days in Antarctica as part of a drone pilot program. Researching whales, and one of the researchers is flying a DJI-inspired 2 drone. He is an acoustician with the California Ocean Alliance. There's Kirsten Flynn, who's a research biologist, and Leah McPherson, who is the one that actually flew the drone. And they collected data on 34 groups of whales and measured the whales. They collected biopsy samples. And this is data that they use to track and be able to keep track of the health of the whales in the area.
That's cool. Will you say acoustician again?
Acoustician.
Yeah, acoustician. Yeah. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a person that studies the acoustics or sound through water.
Boom! Pop quiz. You passed. All right.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
All right. So next we have, for those in the audience as well as on our member panel, we had some tornadoes that rolled through Texas recently and left a lot of damage. So we have some drone footage that is from Texas town of Round Rock. The tornadoes tore through here on Monday and caused a lot of damage. We have multiple states that have been impacted by this storm, not just Texas. And just some amazing footage that is coming out of the areas that have been impacted by this. Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, all experienced this particular storm.
That was a really bad front. In fact, we were having our Zoom meeting, our Route 66 Zoom meeting, and Ben kept going. And I was like, and then he talked to us again, and then he'd go, "Hey, what are you doing, Ben?" "Oh, just waiting to see if my car lifts off the ground." Because you're in
the stars are in the background, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I got priorities. I got to do this meeting."
Yeah, because
someone went on the background outside in a bicycle with a dog in a basket flying around.
But you're in north of Dallas, is that right?
Fort Worth, yeah.
Fort Worth, okay. So how close did these systems get to you? And I'm sure they rolled over. You just didn't experience what these poor people are experiencing.
Yeah, there was some high winds and a bit of storm damage about a mile from my house, but I was pretty lucky in Fort Worth.
Yeah, Jacksboro, 60 miles northwest of you, is the one that got hit pretty bad. They had a lot of damage up there.
Wow.
Yeah. And, of course, my favorite footage that's been making the internet is the truck, the Chevy truck that spins around in the tornado and then flips over on its wheels and drives off. I'm like, yeah, in Texas, baby.
Yeah, well, wouldn't you? I wouldn't sit there and wait to get hit again. I'd be like, okay, I'm right side up. Let's see if this works. Yeah.
All right. So on March 18th, some of you guys may have experienced, if you lived in the Plainview area, a delay in your Walmart deliveries because the Plainfield Walmart Fulfillment Center caught fire. And this is drone video footage of the aftermath of that particular fire.
Was anybody hurt or killed?
I do not have any information about anybody hurt or injured from this. Fire investigators are still working to try to determine the cause of this particular fire. Obviously, because of just the amount of stuff that's in there, there's probably, millions of things that could have been.
Thank you very much. My producer that doesn't exist just handed me this note. Apparently, my tube socks were lost. They're gone. And if we just have a moment.
For tube socks?
My feet are going to be cold. Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay.
Feet.
Yeah.
Well,
they're
we're gonna
important.
we're gonna have a moment for tube socks.
That's right.
All right.
Okay, all right. Sorry that happened. That was bad. But the drone footage is cool. Hope nobody was hurt. Otherwise, it's not funny. Right, yeah. All right.
All right. So we'll go to the lighter side of the news now. This one is, I guess, one of my favorite ones because this man was attempting to smuggle drugs by drone into a detention center using a drone carrying a package wrapped in black electrical tape dangling from fishing line.
And nobody's ever tried this before. He's the first genius to think of this. But he got caught. Oh, genius.
A Watauga man was arrested after flying a drone over the Washington County Detention Center. Deputies noticed the drone flying over one of the jail's recreation yards. Investigators say they were able to retrieve the drone.
Okay,
and
hold
found
on.
a package of illegal.
Hold on. That's a brushed drone. Use the right equipment for the job, knucklehead.
narcotics attached to it. Sheriff Sexton says, while this is the first time they've caught someone, they have stopped other attempts in the past.
We've done our best to try to put enough screen over the rec yards to make it really hard for people to do something like this. But at the end of the day, they will always try to beat any security system we put in.
31-year-old Dustin Garland was arrested and charged with 1 count of introduction of contraband into a penal facility and 1 count of flying a drone over a government infrastructure. More charges are pending. The investigation is continuing as they question inmates inside the jail.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm getting a note from my producer that doesn't exist. Hold on. Apparently, it wasn't successful, so he was not able to deliver his tattoo removal cream. Winner, that guy, winner.
Well, if you're going to fly a drone in a stealth-like manner, would you have it bright yellow?
Right. Well, you got to get it back, right?
Or brushed. Or brushed.
Or a brush drone. That's the thing.
I mean, did he go on Wish and get himself one of these, cheap plastic
Well, he went to
drones
Walmart.
just
See,
to
we're
fly?
laughing at this because we are all drone nerds. And we know that brushed motors don't have the power as brushless motors. But this guy, this guy, he didn't know that. Does he look like he knows that? Yeah, he doesn't look like he knows his alphabet.
Yeah.
That's left from his right.
Right. So anyway.
That was
laughable. Yes, indeed.
Criminal mastermind.
The next story, I have been chomping at the bit all week to share this with you guys because this right here is the reason why I do what I do. I love this type of news.
Mm-hmm.
So, a group of students at the University of Maryland took essentially ancient technology and put it to modern application, and they took Leonardo's DaVinci's flying machine and made it fly.
So they 3D printed DaVinci's propeller design to see if it would actually work.
Yes.
And it does.
And it does. 500 years ago, that was sketched.
That's awesome.
And it's proven that Leonardo da Vinci, 500 years later, was brilliant.
Oh, I wonder what Da Vinci would have done if you could slap some goggles on him. If he could go back in time and just put, all right, don't freak out. And then what would somebody from that era even do? It'd be witchcraft, right? I mean, it'd be magic, total magic.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Think of the technology that we'll have 500 years from now. Right? How we would think that's magic.
We can't even think of it.
We can't even we can't even no.
25 years ago, I never would have thought you'd have this.
True.
Yeah. So Austin Preet is the student at the University of Maryland that created that thing, and that man is a friggin' genius.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
All right. Next, we have this is some drone footage from a fire at an apartment building in Walker. Don't have an awful lot of details as to how or why or where this started, but the footage is just intense. This was a pretty major fire that burned through this place.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it always looks more spectacular from the air.
The drone perspective is something that is, you can't appreciate something like this unless you see it from a drone.
Wow, and it looks like the apartments next door, the group survived, but this just went through the whole thing, that one building.
Yeah. That was an intense fire.
So many lives uprooted. That's sad.
It is very sad.
Great
Hopefully
great drone footage, though. Very sad, but great drone footage. What are you drinking, man?
Does it matter at this point?
It doesn't, I guess. No. Anyway, thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're most welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed the news.
Now, we're going to enjoy the news as it continues through our Route 66 trip. It's not going to stop just because we're out on the road. We're still going to get reports from you. We're still going to do a show. We don't know where we're going to be for 2 of the Thursdays, but it'll be interesting.
The news will be different, but I'll make sure I give you guys some good stuff to be able to tune into and watch.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks for stopping by. Now get out.
We should probably mention remotepilot101.com. Isn't it a great place?
Great place.
It is a great place. Tell us about your place, Jason.
So Remote Pilot 101, no one has prepared more Part 107 pilots than us. And you'll be pleased, those of you who are current customers now, you're going to be experiencing version 3 and a brand new learning management system in about 2 weeks. So the best just keeps on getting better. RemotePilot101.com. Use promo code Heron18, which, by the way, Ken, I can't brag on you enough. When we search promo codes, you know me, I'm all about our marketing and everything else. Heron18 is the most used promo code. Your people listen to you, Ken.
Yay! Thank you, people. I appreciate that. And you've been very busy updating the lessons too, because
there's not every video has gotten a facelift. There's 76 videos in there. Every single one has gotten a facelift. The course has gone from 9 hours to almost 12 hours now. There's just so much new content. We're always trying to innovate, push new content. Now with all the recurrent tests changing so much, we're like, wow, we just launched our new course. We need to fix it now. So we're back to that. I was just reviewing some of the stuff our writers sent over earlier for some of the content, and there's some more great stuff coming out here soon as well.
And you take actual questions that test takers give you and kind of incorporate those in the quizzes too, right? So they're actual FAA questions.
We have a ton of data on that, no doubt. So yeah, and I always share. You know this, Ken. I call them the boot camps at the end, where I share. This is a question you're going to see on your knowledge test. Let's not memorize it. Let's understand the why behind it. But just to prepare them for the knowledge test. You know this, though, Ken. I want you to be safe in the real world. My mission isn't just to pass a test. I want you safe when you're out there flying FPV, whatever it is, so you can be a light and be a mentor to everybody else that's out there wondering about what this new drone space is. Even though it's not that new, but to many it is so new. We have to be ambassadors to that.
You're a shining star, Jason. A shining star. Awesome.